Hello, everyone. Welcome to week one of CU 122. I'm seeing a lot of people looking sharp in their chef coats right now. How's everybody doing? Everybody having a great day? I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up for all those people who are watching for the live session archive. Well, I am Chef Rachel. I get to be your instructor for this class, and I am really excited to be your instructor here. It's such a fun class because it's half garde manger, half baking. And the garde manger, does anybody know what garde manger stands for? Those who I was chatting to earlier. Remember that? It actually stands for keep to eat. So that's where we get to do fun things. That's all the cold pantry stuff, right? These are your salads, your cold sauces, your sausages, all of those awesome items. That's what we get to be doing for that first half of class. And then, yes, and Lucy wrote in chats, cold foods. That's exactly it. It's all the cold stuff. And then we get to switch gears and start baking. And for those who are worried about baking, do not worry. It is a great, great skill to learn. And as I always like to say, it's job security. I was able to work in any station of a kitchen because I knew how to bake. I knew how to be on the line, like doing saute, being on the grill. I can move anywhere. So I had job security because I knew how to bake. And that's what you guys get to learn now is how to bake and how to actually bake in different locations because some of you guys are in, I'm guessing, East Coast. We have West Coast. We have everybody in the middle, right? Yes. Yes, for the most part. Yes. Yes. All right. So first off, let's check out your main page. I really want to make certain that you guys know where everything is. Oh, I'm seeing Oregon, Lexington, PA, West Coast. It's going to be awesome. You guys are going to love this class. Love it. Wow, everybody's from everywhere. This is fun. Oh, before we start the main page, I should probably introduce myself, shouldn't I? Again, to let you know a little bit about my background. So, I was born and raised in Massachusetts. I actually did not start off doing, my dream wasn't always to be a culinarian. I actually started off doing horses. So I went to school to be a facilities manager and an equine teacher trainer. But then I switched gears. The higher up you got, the crazier people kind of got. So I changed to the other form of crazy, which is all of us, which I just say we're quirky, right? And then I went to culinary school. I went to Le Cordon Bleu, and then I traveled all around the world because that is the awesomeness of this program. Having this, you get to go anywhere. You have the possibilities are endless for you guys, and it's so much fun. So I lived in Australia, New Zealand, I was in England, parts of Europe like France and Germany, and you guys, I'm sure, have heard it, all the different cool places that all the other chefs have been to, right? And that's the beauty of it. You can just walk in and say, hi, I am awesome because I have this certificate. Can I work in your establishment? And a lot of places would be like, yeah, come on down. And so, and in between all of that time, I got my bachelor's in business and I have my master's, an MBA with a concentration in entrepreneurship. So do not worry, you won't just have me once. You will definitely have me at the very end of the program for your entrepreneurship class. It's gonna be fun. And then between all of that travel, I also moved out here to Colorado. I came out to visit friends and I didn't want to do another New England winter, so I stayed. So when I did that, it was in between all of that, all of the different jobs that I've done, I've been a baker, cake decorator, pastry chef, line cook, catering chef on site, event planner, everything until I ended up doing what my dream which was to run a bed and breakfast. And it wasn't just a rinky-dink, like 1-bedroom bed and breakfast. We had 2 houses, we had an event center, we had conference rooms. So we were actually really, really busy. And it was great. But then, got married, have a little boy, and I decided to switch and start teaching, to be able to see my kid a little bit more. And that is the beauty of this industry. You can shift around because you don't always have to be in a kitchen. There's endless possibilities for you guys in this industry. And now I get to teach you guys. And it's fun because I get to teach you guys a lot of stuff that I absolutely love. And do you know who else absolutely loves it? It's Chef Genevieve. Chef Genevieve, my awesome, awesome partner in crime.
Hi guys, I'm excited for week 1. I'm excited for this whole block, Chef Rachel, and I just finished this class with another group, and you guys get to do so much fun stuff in this class over the course of 12 weeks. Really wide variety, and I get to see all of it. It's one of my favorite parts of my job, getting to see your work each week. But I want you to listen to your feedback. That's something you hear from every evaluator, I'm sure, but I'm always going to give the speech week 1. Every week when I grade your assignments, I'm going to give you thoughtful feedback. I really, really am proud of my feedback. It's the best way I can build a relationship with you guys and get to know you. And so the best way for you to do that is to listen. Please reach out to me whenever something doesn't sit right with you, or maybe you have more questions or didn't understand something or just wanted to continue the chat. Always reach out to me. Please, please, please. I'll put my information, texting, calling, email number at the bottom of your feedback every week. But I'm excited to be here. I hope you guys are excited. Each week, I'm going to be as jazzed as I am right now. You'll learn pretty quickly that I'm a high energy gal. You'll hear it in your feedback too. So get ready. And I am also an alumni from the school. I graduated from the Boulder campus years ago. So I've been in your shoes. Trust me, I get it. Sometimes things are a little nuts. We're going to go into baking, second half of this program or this block. That's my wheelhouse. So don't worry. We're here to guide you through it, and it's going to be fun.
And then did you want to do a little intro about yourself? I told him where I was born and raised and all that fun stuff. Would you like to do a little intro?
Sure. I think that my background's a little less exciting. I was born and raised in Colorado, Western Slope. So Chef Rachel and I are both still Colorado ladies. And I actually went to college for a few years before I went to pastry school for speech, language, hearing sciences, and education. So I've always loved education, and I've loved being in the kitchen. And when I finally got to combine the two, my heart just burst. I love this job, you guys. That's one of the reasons why I'm so excited all the time. I've tried to calm down. I just can't do it. But on my journey to working at a Scaffier, I've worked at a bunch of different bakeries. I've worked at a bunch of different schools with a variety of students. And some of my favorite things to do besides baking are roller skating and thrifting, going to flea markets and thrift shops and finding vintage furniture and stuff like that. So I am happy to be here. And even though I have less culinary experience than Chef Rachel, I love the culinary world. And since I've left pastry school, I've devoted a ton of time to diving deeper into culinary and working more in the savory side of things. So I'm excited to be able to get to do both with you guys.
And Chef Genevieve is awesome. So don't believe the stuff. She is fabulous and awesome and a fabulous baker. So, and remember, you guys, that's a beauty. That's why I love food so much, is because everybody has like a dish or something that is theirs. That is their perfection, right? So you can always learn something. And that's where I really hope that you get from not only this class, but your entire time out here, is to become a lifelong learner and keep on going, because there's so many different things to learn, and it's a lot of fun. And then let me pull up the main page for you guys. Let's check out our main page. So right here, you see this little blue semicircle right there? If you click on that bad boy, you can find our info right here. This 970 number, Colorado, is a text only number. So do not try to call me on it. You can only text. This number right here is the one to call me. This is my email address, but do remember, this one is a text only. If you text that number, I can definitely jump on faster and get back to you sooner, because then, you know, I enjoy adult conversation and not having to sing Raffi and Sesame Street nonstop. So, you know, give me a call if you have problems. And Chef Genevieve's info is also right here for you guys.
And will be in your feedback each week. I list my email, texting number, calling number in your feedback every single week. So you'll always be able to find it there too.
Nice, nice. And then right here, we have your syllabus. You guys have your weekly inventory that you can check out. And it gives you all the stuff that you're going to need each week, right? And then, oh wait, I opened it up and I don't think you guys saw it. So let me stop share and share the weekly inventory. This right here, this will give you all the stuff that you need each week. But that being said, there are going to be some recipes that are going to be a bit bigger, and you guys are doing conversions and you can convert it down to a smaller recipe. That is the beauty of being a chef. You have to do conversions all the time. And it's great because you're going to get to that point where you're going to have that practice. And then once you get into the kitchen, you're going to be solid, right? Then let me pull up the main page again. We have the tutoring info right here. So if you did in fact need tutoring, a little something extra, that info right there, Chef Sydney is fantastic. She has also gone through the program, so she knows exactly what you guys are going through. And she's really a great resource to use. We have here this awesome video. Watch the videos. They're fun. I make them. I edit them. I make it so that like Escoffier, like, you know, goes to the last part and everything. Like I actually like boop, 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 do little stuff for you. So watch the videos and they will tell you what we have going on this week. So we have your research materials right here. You'll always have your knowledge checks and your conversion knowledge checks. These are worth points. So be certain to get those in. They're worth points, right? And then you'll always have your live session. I like slides. I'm a big person where I like the visual and I like having slides. So you guys will have my slides. Every week I will do slides and they will be right underneath your live session archive. So it'll be right here for you guys. And I highly recommend, you know, sometimes you can't go back into your main page when your class is done, but you can make a copy of all my slides, which provides links that can be useful for you for later on. So do that. Right, Chef?
On that topic of reusing something or looking back at something that's going to be helpful later on, at the end of this class, you'll have a final exam that's similar format to your knowledge checks. And almost every question on your final exam comes from your knowledge checks and your reading. Your reading is equally as important as doing those knowledge checks. But something that I want to give you a heads up about week one before you start those knowledge checks is that there's no rule that you can't take a picture each week of your knowledge checks of those questions that are popping up. I recommend doing so because then by the time your final comes, you've already sort of created a study guide by having those pictures of knowledge check questions. So that's not required at all, but just a tip that as you're going through these knowledge checks, these next 12 weeks, you're going to see those questions again on your final.
That's a fabulous tip. Thank you, Chef. That is awesome. Now, And then this week, you guys get to see our assignments. Our assignments are always due when? And this is where you say something. Blevin, I can see you mouthing it. So what is it?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time, right? Thank you, Blevin. Yes. And when do you think I want the knowledge checks and conversion checks done?
Saturday.
Yes, I do. It's important to start it early because some of these assignments take time because we're doing baking, especially when it comes to bread, when you have to let stuff bulk ferment and it takes hours. Hours, not something that you can do real quick in an hour. So get your knowledge checks in and then just pop on and start doing your assignment. Right? The earlier the better. The earlier the better because then you have a chance to resubmit and get the best grade possible. Right?
That's the thing that I tried to do every single time there's something missing from your assignment is in your feedback, I try and be really clear about what exactly you need to do, what adjustment you need to make in order to resubmit and earn those points back. It's usually something really simple. The thing I see most often is forgetting to take a picture of your baked product or your cooked product, whatever we're making, cut in half. That's almost a required picture every single week. And I see that one missing a bunch. So pay close attention to your required photos, that list, and that'll help you there as well.
Yeah, thank you, Chef. And don't worry, we are going to go over your assignment. Chef Genevieve is going to do a fabulous job going over your assignment for you guys. So do not worry. But if you do have a question about your assignment, who are you going to call? And not the Ghostbusters. Neither set. Nor Bill Murray or Jenny McCarthy will not be calling you back. So it is, and I saw everybody pointing to me and Chef Genevieve. Yes, contact us. Let us know if you have issues. We are here to help. And remember, when you look at your feedback, also realize it's like having your own personal consultant, right? Because she's there to make certain that you earn the best grade possible. And Chef Genevieve is giving you that valuable feedback for you to make your assignment better. And if you look at it as if it's your business, you just hired that consultant to make your business better. So take the recommendations. Don't be like those owners on Kitchen Nightmares, where they, where they never want to do any of the stuff that Gordon Ramsay tells them to do until the very bitter end. Don't be like that. Listen to the feedback, especially the video part. That's really, really important.
Something else that I want you guys to know as a grader, the way that I grade, is I'm not looking for perfection. We're here at school to learn, and mistakes are definitely a huge way that we all learn. But something I want to see each week is that you have an understanding of the method and an understanding of what went wrong. So if something goes wrong in the kitchen, still take pictures of everything, still try and complete the assignment, but most importantly, in the narrative that you fill out each week, give me a description of what you think went wrong and what you would do differently next time to fix that. And that shows me that you still have an understanding of the method, even if something didn't go perfectly, didn't go as planned. So keep that in mind. That's absolutely worth credit. That's like showing your work when you do a math problem. You showed me the work, you showed me the understanding, and that's what's important to me.
Nice. Very nice. Now, we're going to get down to it because that's what we get to do this week. What do we get to do? Salads and cold sauces. Let me pull up my slide for you guys. A cold sauce. So, have you guys ever thought of mayonnaise being considered a cold sauce before? I'm seeing no. Vinaigrettes, yes, right? But you have a whole slew of cold sauces. Because remember, you're in culinary school. We have a technical term for everything, right? So, and you have a variety of cold sauces. You have those dairy-based sauces. You have salsas, the coulis, and the purees. Do you guys remember what mother sauce is considered a coulis? Anybody? Anybody? No? No? It's your tomato. The tomato sauce. So you have your bechamel, you got your velouté, you have your tomato, you have your good old espagnole, and then you have your hollandaise. And in this class, we get to do the hollandaise, which is considered a warm emulsion. But this week, we get to focus on the cold emulsions. And now, if the zombie apocalypse happens, you guys are going to be able to make your own mayonnaise, right? You don't actually have to go to the store and buy mayonnaise anymore. You're going to be set.
Something that surprised me when I started diving deeper into the culinary world was how many different products in the kitchen had mayonnaise as a base. A lot of items have mayonnaise as a base. So knowing how to make your own is also just a real important skill to have. Sometimes you're going to have to work on the fly, and mayonnaise is a surprisingly versatile product that you can utilize in the kitchen for a lot of different things. So knowing how to make it your own is definitely a surprisingly important skill.
Yes, and that's why it's really, really important that we get to go over it now, because if you have this technique down, then you can do so many different things. That's what we talked about. And we talked about it before the live session started, but for those who are watching the live session archive, please remember with these recipes that we have, these are those recipes that are the foundation for you guys. These are those that you need to really master before you can really go off and do your own creation. So it's really important that you guys follow the recipe, especially for baking, because baking is a science. And I mean, technically it's all science, right? Because you break it down to the molecular level, and it's chemicals and compounds, and everybody gets to be a mad scientist wearing a super cool chef coat. Like, that's the beauty of us, right? We get to do it all the time. And that's where it's really important that you guys have that foundation down. So when we go over the assignments each week, remember to follow the recipe. This is also going to help Chef Genevieve, because if you decide, well, I'm going to do this and this and this, and she has no idea what it was supposed to look like to begin with, how is she supposed to grade it? Versus if you actually started off with the recipe that she has been grading, that she can see that consistency, she knows it, she's done the recipes, and she can tell you exactly like what needs to be worked on. And so it's really important to follow the recipes for this. And now we get to go into your emulsions. So when you guys put, you see this right here, this little, that's my olive oil and balsamic right there, right? It doesn't mix, right? Oil and balsamic, oil and water, not mixing, right? This is actually has a delightful scientific name. It's called that heterogeneous. It's a heterogeneous mixture because it's not combining. It's not going to combine. And our job is to make it combine. And we are going to turn it into a homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture is like salt water. If you guys see salt water goes together. Do I have coffee drinkers, tea drinkers? Coffee, tea, you guys put sugar in your coffee and your tea? Yeah? That's considered a homogeneous mixture because it's able to mix very well together. I mean, heck, the air is considered a homogeneous mixture because we can, all these different gases combine to make it so we can breathe, right? And that is part of emulsion, taking these two things that don't go together and make it combine and make it to what we want it to be. So there are two different types of emulsions. We have our temporary, and what's a good example of a temporary mixture that you guys know?
The vinegar and oil?
Yeah, vinaigrette. Yep, vinaigrette. That's a perfect one. Because, like, you mix it, you have to shake it, right? You whisk it, and then after a while, you see that it starts to separate, right? And you have to shake it again, and then you see that it separates. And then we have the permanent one, a permanent emulsion. So what's a good example of that?
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise, yes, Andrew, very good. Mayonnaise is a perfect example of that homogeneous mixture. Look at that. You have these pretty things in that bottle that you can just go like that, hold the cork and shake it before you toss it, and then you have that delightful thing of mayo. I don't know about you guys, but I would die without mayo. Like, I need mayo. Like, I would die without it. I am like, bring on the extra mayo, which is why it's so significantly better for my food cost to make my own. My labor cost will be up, but that's okay. I got that food cost down, right? And then now to make that permanent like emulsion to happen, that homogeneous state, we need to add emulsifiers. And emulsifiers are valuable, and these are just some of these are the different types of emulsifiers that you can use. Now, for your recipes, you guys are going to notice that there's going to be mustard. It says dry mustard. You can also use like good old school yellow mustard if you have to. That's fine, because dry mustard can be kind of tricky to find, but you can always find good old regular yellow mustard. And pizzazz, you get a little turmeric. You know how turmeric is that new health, what they consider a health food right now. I saw somebody raise their hand. Who was it? Oh, yeah.
We have mustard seeds. Is it possible to make dry mustard from mustard seeds? If I just throw them in a mortar and pestle, will that work?
Yeah, you can do that. You can do a grinder if you wanted to also. And do remember, if you do you have like a bunch of different types of mustard seeds?
I just have the regular yellow mustard seeds.
Okay, good, because you guys realize that the darker the mustard seed, the spicier it'll be. So that's where you see that like stone ground and it has a bit of kick to it. It's because it has that darker mustard seed in it. And so the white ones are good. They won't have that kick as the darker ones will. So if you do have your mustard seeds, don't like, and you have a bunch of them, don't be like, if you have multiple variety of colors, don't be surprised if you eat some of your mustard and go, whoo, like, what is this? You know, it's going to be a little bit spicy for you guys. Now, and then we have the good old egg yolk. Egg yolk is great. Now, for our cold emulsions, we're going to want to have those multiple emulsifiers in there, right? It helps hold it together better. Some of the reasons that you can see that may go askew is if you actually, oh, did I just see someone raise their hand again? No? No? Oh, okay, never mind. Is when you're actually trying to combine this thing together, right? It can be a little tricky. And this is where you have to have your strength with you. Be prepared. Be prepared to whisk and whisk and whisk like your life depended on it, right? You're gonna be whisking nonstop.
She's not exaggerating, you guys. Every single mayonnaise assignment that I've ever graded, every single one in the narrative, it says, man, this took a long time to whisk. So she's not exaggerating, but I promise you will get there. So be patient. The magic of emulsion will happen, but you have to be determined.
And yes, and when you're whisking, remember, it's and we're going to talk about it. You start off, you know, you have your egg yolks in there, you have your dry mustard, and then it's all about doing it slowly, right? You're tempering your stuff in. So little droplets of olive oil, because you can't just all of a sudden, here's my base, and I'm just going to dump the oil in. It's not going to come together. You need to do little droplets, droplet. And you'll see it in that video that Chef Kevin did for you guys. That's on your main page. He did little droplets. And then you do that pencil thin. I have a pencil. I got a pen. Pencil thin drizzle for the rest of the oil until you get it in, and you are going to be whisking like no other, right? I always enjoyed whisking. Now you could do like, you know, your KitchenAid or handheld mixer, but get the gun show, right? Be like, the bathroom's over there, and show off the guns that you guys got from whisking. Now you'll notice that some people have different techniques for whisking. You'll see people doing this, and for me, I cannot do this. I have horse injuries. I've sprained my wrists. I have carpal tunnel. There's no way that I can actually like do this. It'll kill me. So when I do in fact whisk, my wrist actually stays still, and I take my elbow and I put it into the side of my hip, and then if I kind of stand up, side of my hip, and then I just go like that. You see how my wrist is flat, and you just go like that. Now you're getting a great bicep workout. You want to work your tricep, you switch it. And then you can try to do the other side. See how fast you go. I always loved doing that at the B&B. I would actually test to see how long it would take me to make it so that I could do the flip test where, you know, you whisk it so much and it's perfectly come together where you can actually flip your bowl upside down and nothing falls out. Just for your mayo, not for your vinaigrette. Do not do that for your mayo. I mean for your vinaigrette, just your mayo. And you can do it for your like whipped cream and egg whites and stuff. I'd whisk as fast as I could, and then I timed myself to see how long I took, and then I tried to do it on my left side, and that side is like, it's like I am not good. So this side's awesome, this side not so much. So just remember, be prepared to whisk. And if you're worried about your bowl moving a lot, Chef Kevin also shows in the video and does a great job where he kind of makes like a version of a double broiler where he did a pot. It's not filled with water, but he does he has a pot, he has a towel inside of it, and then he puts his stainless steel bowl right on top, and that helps prevent it from moving around. Especially if you're trying to whisk and you're trying to pour at the same time, it can get tricky. So do that pot, your towel, and then and sometimes a wet towel is actually better than a dry one, and then put your bowl on top and it won't move on you. So definitely do that. You can also do what I do, which is I keep on saying to myself, don't break, don't break, don't break, don't break, don't break, don't break, don't break. I would do that all the time. Like I said, I'm a Red Sox fan, Patriots fan. We have all sorts of superstitions that we do. So let's go to the slide again. Now, for your vinaigrette, this is why I love this, is once you know this ratio, you can do whatever type of vinaigrette you want to. Once you have this down, it is endless, the possibilities. You want to do a red wine vinegar? Yeah, that's fine. You want to do a blueberry shallot red wine vinaigrette? Awesome. You want to do an apple basil vinaigrette? You can do that too. And it's all about this ratio right here. This ratio. It's really important. It's that 3 parts oil to that 1 part acid. So what are some acids? What's the basic acid that you guys are going to be using?
Vinegar?
Yeah, Exactly. Vinegar. That's perfect. You can add some lemon juice too, because lemon juice is an acid. And just knowing this makes it so that you can do whatever. Once you have your recipe down and you have the technique down, then you can do as many different types of vinaigrettes as you like. So it's one of my favorite things to do, and especially important for like different caterings, because I would always have to, come up with a variety of vinaigrettes, because I had a lot of people who, like, the client would be in that conference room from Monday to Friday because they have a whole slew of meetings each week, and I don't want to give them the same exact vinaigrette every single time. I want to change it up for them, make it more interesting, make it so they want to come back and say how awesome the food is, right?
Also, thinking about elevating your menus, when you go to a nicer restaurant, not often do they have a list of salads where you can say, okay, I'll have ranch or Caesar, or I'll have Thousand Island. At those nicer restaurants, they have created a really composed dish, just like we're going to do this week, and have chosen a sauce that's really intentional. Something, like Chef said, an apple basil vinaigrette. And it's always that last thing, that vinaigrette or sauce, that really makes me want to try that salad and makes me willing to pay $15 for a salad. So it's a great way to really elevate such a simple dish.
It is, and it's really easy one to do because it doesn't take very long at all to make a vinaigrette. Once you have the practice down, it is really, really easy to do, and that's what you guys get to do, is practice. Now, if you wanted to make this like reduced fat or add a few fruit puree to it, you can do that. You just need to replace parts of your oil. So you can replace up to 2/3 of the oil with like a thickening sauce or your juice or the puree. And that way it's not as much oil, in case, say, you have somebody who has a dietary restriction or something like that. You can definitely then be able to switch it up and make it for them so they can enjoy it. Now, for your mayonnaise. Mayonnaise will break, and that's okay. It breaks on everybody. So do not worry. There is a way you can fix it, and I gave you a video to watch. So if your mayonnaise does break, don't worry. There's a great video here. But what you typically do is you get a new egg yolk, and then you're whisking that egg yolk in a new bowl, and then you are, instead of using that oil, you're actually taking everything that broke and you're pouring it pencil thin, right, that droplets, and then pencil thin into that yolk, and that will save your mayonnaise. It happens to everybody. Do not get discouraged. It happens to me still. I mean, I got a 5-year-old running around. He'll be like, Mama, what dinosaur is an omnivore? And I'm like, oh, crap, what is a dinosaur is an omnivore? Because he wants to be a paleontologist, and I lose focus, and I'm like, oh, well, there goes my mayo. But that's okay. You can fix it. So do not worry. It'll be okay. Now, do you guys actually know the difference between, have you guys heard of an aioli before? Yes, I'm seeing yes. Do you guys know what the difference is between an mayonnaise and an aioli? Nobody? Nobody? Well, aioli, citrus. I hear citrus. What else?
Mayonnaise doesn't have anything extra added to it.
The mayonnaise doesn't have anything extra to it. Yeah. So your aioli, it actually means, the translation is garlic oil. So your aioli is always going to have garlic in it. Your mayonnaise will always have your egg yolk, your canola oil, your vinegar, your lemon juice, your salt, pepper, that kind of stuff. But then your aioli, instead of using that canola oil, also known as corn oil, you have your olive oil. And then you always have garlic. Still the same process, But you have two very different ingredients for it. And so that's a fun one. Once you guys get your mayonnaise down, I highly recommend trying an aioli. I love making like black pepper aioli and bacon aioli. It's a fun one to do. Let me now share my screen again because we get to talk about salads. There are primarily three different types of salads. You have your good old green salad, you have your side salad, and that's like your pasta salad, your potato salad, you know, your fruit salad, that kind of thing. And then you have your compost salad. And your compost salad, look how pretty that is. Isn't that pretty? That's fun. You have your color, it's vibrant, it looks gorgeous. And you have, and these up at the top, like there is a bed of greens, but then these at the top, that's your main item. That's your main entree right there. And it just looks pretty. And this is where I love compost salads because they always look pretty. And then you can, I know some people who get super creative and do a variety of different like shapes and all that kind of stuff. I had a friend that did like for Valentine's Day, they did compote salad with like a heart shape with the tomatoes, and then they did like the green and then the arrow. Like, yeah, you can go crazy for it, right, Chef?
Yes, the best way that I like to describe a compost salad is that it's made with intention. Every single ingredient on your plate has been placed with intention, which is different, obviously, than a tossed salad. Both are pretty self-explanatory. Tossed salad, you're combining all of those ingredients, mixing them all up together. A compost salad, you are intentionally placing each ingredient. This is one of my favorite presentations that Chef Rachel has up on the screen right now. Those just nice rows and bundles of ingredient. I think it highlights each one really beautifully. But there are a lot of different ways that you can create a compost salad, a design for them. Just thinking in symmetry, for example. So if you had a circular plate, you could definitely, you know, create like a flower with your eggs and then another ring around it with your tomatoes and another small bundle of beans or corn and chicken inside of those rings. So it doesn't necessarily have to be symmetrical or rows or piles, but it's intentional. So you have placed every ingredient with intention. You've thought about it. You're trying to highlight everything that's on your plate.
And you guys notice how it has those hard-boiled eggs right there? Now, for those who have never tried to hard-boil your egg, that's okay. You can do the old school, you know, pull your eggs out, put them in the pot of water, turn the heat on, wait till it heats, then set your timer for that like 9 to 12 minute timing. And for that, I gave you guys also a couple of different links. So I gave you this one right here that just shows it, and it actually shows you the pictures and breaks it down. And then, but if you wanted to get creative and try something new, Alton Brown and American Test Kitchen steam their eggs. And the American Test Kitchen one is pretty cool because the method that they do it, they actually, like after they cool down, they put them in water and they shake it like 40 times, so the egg shell will actually just like completely come off spiraling. So it's a really cool, and I definitely want to try it now because I've actually never tried steaming my eggs before. But that's something I definitely want to try now. But those are also there for you guys. And you're gonna need to use hard-boiled eggs for your assignment because remember, we have doing your mise en place. Remember, mise en place is everything in its place. So your place is checking out your main page and listening to Chef Genevieve go over the assignment. That is due on Tuesday, 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time.
You handing it over to me, Chef?
Yes, I am. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm ready. Okay, let me get my screen shared here.
And while she does that, remember your knowledge checks and conversion checks, those are due on Saturday. Get a head start. Start the week off right by getting your stuff done early, then enjoy your weekend.
So something I'll recommend to you guys every single week is that the second you're done with class, look at your recipes. You don't have to start your assignment tonight, or the night after class. You don't have to start your assignment on Wednesday, but it is absolutely going to help you with your time management for the week and making sure that you get your assignments in by Tuesday, to just give them a look Wednesday night. That way you have an idea of how much time you're going to need, how much of each ingredient that you're going to need. So take your time each week after class to just walk through your recipes, give them a good look. You've got your recipe for mayonnaise, composed salad, and vinaigrette all on our class page. I want to walk you through our required photos because that's something I am a particular stickler about. I am a stickler about these required photos. I am bummed that I can't be in the kitchen with you guys while you're cooking. So those required photos are the next best thing. That's the best way for me to see your production, to see how things went as a whole. When I was in culinary school, even when we took our tests, you had a chef over your shoulder who wasn't saying a word because it was a test. They weren't allowed to help you at all, but they were breathing down your back, watching your every move, and you had to perform the entire production correctly. It wasn't just about the finished product. It was making sure that you did things correctly along the way. So take a look at your required photos, print them out maybe while you're working on your assignment. That way you don't forget any. This week we've got 3 different products. For the next couple of weeks, actually, we have multiple products each week. So that means a decent amount of required photos. I'm going to start with our temporary emulsion, So self-ID. This is something that I have to be a stickler about. It's the rules. My boss's bosses make these rules. That means chef coat is on, your hat is on, you got your apron, kitchen safe pants, and kitchen safe shoes. If you do not have someone there to help take a full body photo, all you have to do is take a normal top half selfie and then just take a picture of your shoes to show me that you've got kitchen safe shoes on. The final requirement of that self-ID, that's the most important part, is that you're holding up a little piece of paper, whether it's a sticky note or a little whiteboard, that has either the week or date written on it to show me that you're taking a new self-ID every single week. So those are those professional standards. We really want you to get into that habit. Then your sanitizing bucket, also show me that same little note. And for mise en place means every single ingredient is ready to be incorporated into your product. So for example, this week, your composed salad mise en place, I should see all of your veggies cut. I want to see those bundles prepared to make your composed salad. For your vinaigrette, I want to see your vinegar measured out and your oil measured out. I don't want to see a bottle of oil and a bottle of vinegar. Does that make sense? I want to see that you've measured out the correct amount ready for production. That's what I need to see in that mise en place. Mise en place has saved my butt a ton of times where I've started preparing, getting everything in order, and then realized, oh man, I don't have eggs. But still had plenty of time to go get eggs. I hadn't started production. Nothing was time sensitive yet because I was preparing myself first. So mise en place is important, but it means everything measured out, scaled out, ready to go into your product. So I want to see your acid in a bowl with seasonings, whether it's your lemon juice, vinegar. The seasonings are totally up to you guys. That's a place where you get to be creative and have a little bit more fun. Then at least 2 more pictures. What we're trying to get you to do here is to slowly add your oil and taste in between. It's something that you should regularly be doing when you're making a vinaigrette. Taking a little leaf, dipping it in, shaking off the excess, and tasting it along the way. Then adding more oil as necessary. You've got your finished vinaigrette as a required photo on a spoon. It says taste. I don't need to see you tasting it. That's just a reminder to taste after that step. So that's why it's in parentheses. I just want to see a spoonful of that vinaigrette. And then a bed of greens lightly tossed in your vinaigrette, which is different and separate than your composed salad. You can use those tossed greens for your composed salad later, but I need to see just the bed of greens without anything else on it tossed in that vinaigrette. So that's your number 8 required photo there. For your composed salad, again, mise en place, sanitation, self-ID. If you're doing all of these on the same day, you only need 1 self-ID, 1 mise en place, 1 sanitation photo. So if you're doing them the same day, you just need 1. That's totally fine. If you're doing them separate days, though, you should have separate ones. I want to see your knife skills for your composed salad. So I want to see all those ingredients and toppings before they've been put onto your salad. It says radish, bell peppers, and carrots, I think might be the other one in the recipe. I want you guys to stick to the recipe, but let's say your grocery store is completely out of bell peppers and you have to substitute it for another vegetable. That's fine. Just show me those knife skills still. I want to see the same technique applied. And then your finished salad dressing on the side. So make sure you include that dressing. That's a small detail, and that's what's going to help create a well-rounded plated presentation. Last but not least, your mayo. And this is one that people miss a lot, and I have to take points away often. And that's the very last picture here, where it's in a container for storage, labeled and dated. So along the way, it's pretty similar to your vinaigrette, where you're going to start with your emulsifier acid in a bowl. As you're adding your fat, you're going to take pictures along the way. Tasting it, again, you don't have to take a picture of you tasting it. We're just reminding you. But the very last one, after you're finished with your mayo, is in that storage properly labeled. And I'm a stickler about labels too. It can cost you a ton of money if your employees are improperly labeling products in the fridge. You can harm people if you are improperly labeling your products in the fridge. So it's actually a pretty serious topic, so I take it really seriously. This is an example of a label that has all the information I need to see. What the product is, even though it's simple, you'd think, who wouldn't know that these are peppers? But just to make sure that everybody's on the same page, it says what it is, the day that they went into this fridge, or the day that the product was cooked or created, the day it needs to be used by, and somebody signed off on this, who made this label, who put this into the fridge. So of course you guys are going to be storing these things in your homes, but I want you to get into this habit. The other thing, this is the way that I label things, it's less expensive than those pre-made labels. I just use masking tape. The masking tape should go on the side of your container for multiple reasons. One, it's easiest to see. It's most visible when you open the door like this. In most professional kitchens, too, the refrigerator is jam-packed, corner to corner, stuffed. So the easier that you can see those labels, the better. But also, being on the side like this protects it from moisture. So let's say this container here started to leak onto this one, and the label was sitting on top of this lid right here. All that moisture is going to mess up your label. It's going to be hard to see when you needed to use that product by, things like that. So putting it on the side protects it from moisture, condensation. We want a Sharpie right on top of that tape, again, with what the product is, when it was made, and when it should be used by. So make sure that you include that photo on your assignment of your finished sauce in a container properly labeled, because I'm excited to see that you guys know what proper labeling is. It's a super important habit to get into. If you have questions about any of these photos, like with everything, please reach out to Chef Rachel and I. Sometimes there will be words in these required photos like your scaled batter. And sometimes people are like, how do I scale my batter? And it really just means your portioned batter. So if there's ever any confusion or things like that, reach out to us. We're happy to help you, give you some specifics. And last but not least, I want to talk about if you have an issue with the assignment. If you're allergic to eggs, if you're allergic, or somebody in your house has a gluten sensitivity, I am empathetic towards you. I understand. But also, I want you to remember that we are here at school to learn to be professional chefs, to cook for other people, to cook for large masses of other people, not just our families, not just our loved ones, even though those are our favorite to cook for. We're here to learn to cook for all sorts of people. So that means you're going to have to learn how to cook with eggs. You're going to have to work with products that you might be allergic to, that you might not like, that someone else in your family is sensitive to. You're going to have to work with it anyways. And so while we don't want you to feel like you're wasting products, you can reach out to us and we will try and work with you the best we can. That way you're getting the best of both worlds, something that you can still utilize at home, but also still learning the technique. That way you can carry that on with you in your professional career. Chef Rachel?
And on that note, I will tell you, I have ulcerative colitis and I have a dairy allergy. It's a legit one. It's not that like, I'm lactose intolerant, but I'm going to put butter on my pancakes. Like, it's not like that. It's a legit allergy. And I will tell you, I have cooked nonstop with dairy my entire career because dairy pays the bills. So do remember that like Chef Genevieve said, you are cooking for your target market, who is coming to your concept. And you really need to know these recipes the way that they're done. Because if you do have an allergy and you decide to substitute, you may not know what it's actually supposed to legit look like when you actually do in fact use the proper ingredients when you guys go into a kitchen and they tell you to cook with this stuff. So please remember that. These are these recipes that will give you that foundation. So work on the foundation, work on the classics so that you can then take it and make it your own.
The last thing that I want to challenge you guys to do with your assignments, again, it makes it more fun for me to grade them, so it might be a little selfish, but every week is an opportunity to update your portfolios with pictures that you're super proud of. So this week, even though you're just making mayonnaise, I still want you to take your time once it's finished, trying to take a beautiful picture of it. Chef Rachel had pulled up that picture of the mayo swirled in the little bowl, which was really beautiful, simple, but a nice presentation. I want you guys to do the same. What if you go to an interview for your externship and one of the first questions your chef asks you is, so can you make mayo? I want you to be able to be like, flip through your book. Yes, of course I can make mayo. Look at how beautiful this mayo is I made while I was a culinary student. So take pride in your photos. They're helpful to me so that I can see your actual production. But for your finished product, your plated presentation, I want you guys to push yourselves, research, get inspired, and have fun with those presentations.
And Chef Genevieve did something super cool. Awesome marketing technique that you will hear me talk about again in entrepreneurship with her photos.
Yes, all my photos from culinary school, when I first got out, I used them for my business cards. So I was actually posting those pictures on Instagram when I was a pastry student. And I found this company that would take your Instagram photos and print them onto business cards. So I had square business cards, and on one side was one of my photos from school, and on the other was all of my information, my name, my email, my phone number, the ways that they could contact me. I still actually have some of those business cards because I love them so much, but most of them I gave away, and I had so much positive feedback about those little square cards in my school pictures. So
I know, that's super cool. I love that. I was like, oh, I never thought of that. I'm like, that's brilliant. So, so remember, you guys have your knowledge checks, your conversion checks. They're worth points, right? They're all worth points. And then you have your assignment, but get it done before Tuesday.
I'm going to bribe you guys, actually. Each week, I'm going to bribe you guys to get your assignments in on time, okay? So what I want to see, what I would love to see is I would love to see 100% on-time submission. I would love all of you to submit your assignment on time. But that's a pretty hard goal to reach. So I'm setting it at 90, which is still really high. 90% on-time submissions. If 90% of us can submit by Tuesday, then in our class cafe on Wednesdays, I'll share something fun, whether it's an embarrassing photo of me from pastry school, because trust me, there are plenty, one of my favorite recipes, a fun story from Chef Rachel, or a cool video, something really inspiring. I'm going to create a prize for us if we can get to 90% OTS if 90% of us can submit on time on Tuesday. So let's do it. Let's be a team. I'm excited to grade your assignments. So the sooner I see them, the better.
Oh, and remember your shelf life for your mayonnaise. It's not going to be the same shelf life as it is coming out of the jar. So if you're thinking like, oh, I have a bound chicken salad next week, I'm going to save it for then. Don't do that. The shelf life on these is, like a week, nah, I don't even know if I'd go a week. What would you say, Chef? Like 5 days at most?
5 days tops, I think.
Yeah. So, don't save it. Use it. Be a mayo lover. Go nuts. Go crazy. And
I
Yes.
just had a great question from Austin, which is how to access the class cafe. And I'm going to share my screen really quickly with you guys just so I can show you, because it doesn't come right out and say class cafe. It's actually this link right here that says ask your questions here. I'm going to circle it so we all.
And you know, I can actually I'll put in parentheses class cafe in there too.
Perfect. But so I'm going to click on it just so you guys can see it. The other thing that I would love for you guys to do in this class cafe is share your work with each other, almost like a Facebook group. So I get to see all of your assignments every week, but I think that something that we don't get to do often enough here at school is get inspired by each other. So if you're really proud of your work for the week, start a thread in that class cafe. Be like, hey, check out my compost salad. I really impressed myself. I'm proud of it. Does anybody else have a salad that they thought was cool or used interesting ingredients or whatever? But let's share it. Let's all start talking in that class cafe, sharing our work with each other and getting inspired.
All right. Well, guys, we are out of time. So looking forward to seeing everybody's work this week. If you have any questions, please reach out and have a great, great week. And get to see everybody again on Wednesday, once again, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a great night, guys.